Hello everybody, Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. And what we do around here is cover old school and new school pro wrestling. Currently we are looking at the World Class Championship Wrestling Series. We are in 1983, January to be specific, and January 21st, 1983 is our episode of this particular audio pod, and so we are going into a very interesting time as the Freebirds will have left within a couple of months, so we're tying that up. Unfortunately, we are less than 2 full months away from the death of David Von Erich, and there is a tribute episode coming that's going to be relatively short for his death. But on this particular episode, Kamala versus Rick Rude, otherwise known as Ravishing Rick Rude, probably one of the first television matches he's had, at least in World Class. I believe he started about a year before this, maybe a little more, year and a half, but he's in World Class, and not as a star like he is a few years later, but as an enhancement talent. Kamala goes to town on him. Rude is overpowered, but certainly looks like something even here. Perhaps a little leaner than he wants to be, but Kamala goes to town on him. I did not know Kamala had stayed this long into things, although we haven't really seen Kamala done away with by the Von Erichs yet, so maybe his leaving is a couple months away, not really sure. I do know he goes back to the WWF for a while, sometime in '84, so he's not here too terribly much longer, I wouldn't think. And Rude tries to hit shoulder tackles and barely moves Kamala. Kamala hits him with a splash, and it's over, so that's pretty simple. Chris Adams says he is fed up with Jimmy Garvin in an interview next. He is hard to deal with, and the battle with Garvin going on several months, probably closer to half a year now, if we went back and looked at it. And you can do that as the entire world-class run, over 90 audios up currently, and closing in on 100 of those. We'll probably have close to 350 by the time we're done. But Adam says he wants Garvin. He wants to get rid of Garvin and get the Americans title back. Not quite sure how many times they've switched the championship. Probably about half a dozen with holdups and whatnot during the feud. Maybe a little less, maybe 4 or 5. But certainly they switched the belt quite a bit. Garvin and Kevin Von Erich up next. They call him the high-flying Kevin Von Erich. So I guess my estimation that he is the more flying of the Von Erichs is notable. Of course, Mike, with a new debut, being leaner, may take that family distinction, but hasn't done so yet. And of course, Sunshine still with, Precious still with Jimmy Garvin. Sunshine still with Chris Adams on and off. They have not blown that feud off. Garvin complains early about getting his hair pulled. Bronco Luvich, unimpressed or uncaring, depending on your perception about that. Garvin is really masterful when he's in there with a guy who forces him to keep moving, such as Kevin Von Erich. Von Erich with the head scissors, body scissors, and the like, and continues to go. Gets a little advice from Precious on the outside, and once again goes right back to the hold. Does Kevin, and Kevin again with the attempted head scissors, but Garvin heads out to the floor. Garvin likes to stall for time. Precious not really all that impressed with that level of drama that's there. Kevin takes to a more brawling approach as the match goes forward, gets a little frustrated. Definitely worth going out of your way to see the match, if only because it's always good to see Jimmy Garvin moving around a little bit more. Garvin tries to throw Von Erich over the top rope, doesn't get what he wants out of it, and there is a sunset or a attempted over the top throw with the skin the cat, and Von Erich rolls him up, and there we go. Chris Adams helps with the win for Von Erich. But then we move on to the big reveal of Iceman Kings Parsons' partner. Try saying that 3 times fast. For our main event this week, of course, Parsons has been warring with Skandor Akbar and the Destroyer for several months now. Needs a partner, needs somebody to watch his back. And who does he find? But a yet-to-be exclusive Andre the Giant. I was sure by the beginning of '84 that he would be exclusive to the World Wrestling Federation. Shows what I know, as he is here in January of '84 at least. Andre is a partner for Iceman King Parsons, and as the graphic says, Andre and Parsons team up for revenge against the Destroyers. Obviously, you can see how this is going to go. Destroyers only intimidated when they actually are face-to-face with Andre, Skandor Akbar out there, and it's clear that, the Destroyers are not going to make Andre go away. Obviously, Parsons spends the good bit of time in the ring, gets the heat on him a little bit, and very basic moves, arm bars, hammer locks, and the like. Parsons still doing much better than a lot of people probably would have given him credit for when he started over a year and a half ago in world class. It stays one of the longer times, so maybe he actually was from the area. When Andre gets in there, though, all bets are off, as the tag team of the Destroyers are unimpressed. Andre actually does the stand on the hand spot of one of the Destroyers, much to the delight of many fans. They do, however, get him down, which is a little surprising that Andre would leave his feet in a match this, I wouldn't say useless, but useless for him. He actually is standing and can knee one of the Destroyers between the shoulder blades from a standing position. Just think about that for a minute. Andre is massive and masterful, and Andre also, it's rare that he does the drop down. He does the butt bump spot, among other things, and Andre looks like he's having fun in there in Texas. And the former American champions, I don't know if they still are, but they were for a while, do take Andre off his feet, surprisingly, with a drop kick from one of the Destroyers. Andre takes the heat for a few minutes, although not too terribly long, and not as long as the average person, before getting back to his feet. And Andre on a vertical base after getting beat on for a few minutes. Not a happy fella. Andre hits a headbutt and other more power moves before tagging back to King Parsons. Parsons comes back in, does the majority of the babyface work, which is to be expected. He is the hometown guy after all. They break him down with chin locks, headlocks, and the like. And Andre once again gets the hot tag, gets to clear house, and I'll tell you, Andre chops, not something I would have wanted to have been on the receiving end of, especially if he was mad at me, because he can throw hands when needed. Andre does go in the direction of getting things going his way before Kamala makes his way into the ring area. Another of the Akbar trio and whatnot, but obviously Kamala and Andre where they're going before they blow that feud off. But Parsons used as a rocket launcher against the two Destroyers, and all heck breaks loose before Kamala makes his way down. That's how we close the show, with the disqualification of the Destroyers, but we'll be back with more right after this.